bear with my voice. Congratulations to Coach Long and that team. They're a really good football team. They block well, they tackle well, they run the ball, they take care of the ball. They're great in the kicking game. And it's frustrating because I felt like there were moments in that game where we had a real chance to make it fun. We came out of half and had a nice drive and got a field goal. It's a 13-10 game. And then I think the things that plagued us all day is I think we've got a lot of work to do in the kicking game, which has been really solid for us so far, but today it was not. And, it was good to see us run the ball a little bit better. I thought Kyrie gave us something there, and we seemed to block those guys all right. They do a great job controlling the ball and limiting your possessions as an offensive football team, which that's tough. We gave them a couple short fields to deal with, and then we didn't tackle well enough. So we got a lot of work to do. We're going to figure out what wasn't right tonight, but there was a lot, way too many mistakes to beat a good team like them.
What's going on, Coach? In the first half, your defensive line seemed to give you guys a really good push. You guys had 5 tackles for loss and a pair of sacks. Why don't you think that was able to carry over into the second half, and you guys weren't able to really get as much of a push and make as much, of an impact on that side?
I think in that second half, it was more of a case of us being in the backfield and not tackling. A lot of missed tackles on the quarterback, on the running backs. And so, that's frustrating because I think we played really good defense at times tonight, really physical, lots of guys getting to the football, and it's about that finishing. It's about wrapping up, grabbing cloth, not dripping off, and giving up an extra 3 or 4 yards. And as we got deeper into the game, we got less and less effective at doing that.
Yes, Coach. So it appears that tonight has several struggles on special teams, starting from the 95-yard kickoff return by San Diego State that ultimately made a big difference. And did that play, when you saw that play, did it influence your decision to go for a pop-up kick after a field goal that closed the deficit at 13-10?
No, we were playing the wind. We were playing the wind at that point. So the first kick was just mishit. He didn't hit it well. It was high and short and on the wrong side of the field, which our coverage needs to adjust, and we didn't. And then the next time, because of the heavy wind we were getting, we tried to hang that ball up, and we didn't get enough leg on it, and it was way too short.
Coach, how much of Ethan Agayo's presence was missed today?
We miss Ethan every day. He's an awesome leader. He's an awesome young man, and he's an outstanding football player.
From San Diego tonight, there were a lot of false starts, a lot of penalties, especially during the last half. Things seemed to get kind of frantic. Just wanted to get your thoughts on what kind of competition you saw from San Diego tonight and how that affected your game, Spartans.
Could you ask that again? What kind of competition?
Yeah, just with the last half of the game, how frantic it seemed. There were a lot of penalties, false starts. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how that affected the morale of the team, the focus of the team. Was there any Achilles heel that San Diego kind of came to for you guys? Or
I would think it ended up being just the plays that we didn't make, like defensively in terms of tackling, and then offensively, we had, I think, 3 drives that kind of sputtered out. We got the ball towards midfield, and we didn't execute. We dropped a pass or didn't finish a block, and so some of those plays that would have given us a chance to be ahead of the sticks, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, we were now 1st and 10.
Now, coming into this game, Coach, San Diego State was only allowing 64 yards a game rushing, but Kyrie came in there and got 64 yards on his own. How important was he to this game and for the rest of the season?
I thought Kyrie did a really nice job tonight. It was exciting to see him get in there, and you know, Kyrie's a freshman, and it's exciting to see a freshman go in there and run the football like he did against a good group like that.
Coach, it seems like San Diego State's game plan coming into it was just to keep away from Josh Love, not let him touch the ball. They went on a couple long drives, including a 20-play drive. What impact does that have on a defense when they have to stay out there for 20 consecutive plays and long drives?
Yeah, I think that's really hard, and I think that's one of those things where they obviously they get fatigued, and because they're on the field for too long, and we had a penalty on one of those drives on the 20 player that ended up really extending it and making it not extending it, but it was a big chunk yardage play because it was a dead ball foul. That part of it offensively, we got to do in a game like that. You got to do as much as you can to control the ball so that you don't give it back quickly and get your defense out there because they've already played a lot of snaps.
Coach, it seemed like the game plan initially was to air the ball out deep, considering you guys were facing one of the best rushing defenses in the NCAA. But it seemed like Josh overthrew a lot of these receivers. A lot of balls sailed over their heads and whatnot. What do you think led to some of these uncharacteristic miscues from Josh?
Well, I think the toughest ball in all of football to complete is a deep ball. So, we knew we were going to take our shots. Some of it was a combination of good coverage. Some of it was a combination of Josh getting pressured and not being able to step into the throw and cut it loose. So I think it was a combination of all those things.
And besides Ethan Aguayo tonight, I noticed that one of the other senior defensive leaders, Jesse Osuna, did not play today. I couldn't find him on the sidelines. What would you be able to say about his status?
I would say like what we always say, we don't talk about injuries.
Coach, coming into this game, Trey Walker was averaging about 8 receptions per game that he played this year. Tonight he was limited to 3. What was San Diego State doing well to keep him to limiting his touches tonight?
They did a good combination of mixing up pressure and in some of those situations, the good thing about Josh is that he distributes the ball, and so he's going to go to where he's supposed to with the ball. And so if they take something away from Trey, then that ball is going to go somewhere else. And so that's kind of what happened with Trey tonight. He was targeted a few times, and both those corners for San Diego State are good players.
Coming in to this game, the Spartans gave a lot of turnovers, interceptions. There's a lot of almost interceptions. I've seen the nearceptions, as we call them. What is your thoughts on those for the defense?
In that regard, I can think of 2 in the game. San Diego State is also one of the, they're second in the nation in turnover margin, so they don't throw it away or they don't make those mistakes very often. And so, I thought Jay Leonard had a chance on post ball, and I thought someone tipped a ball in the defensive line and had a chance when it was up in the air. But their quarterback is a senior like Josh is, and he's efficient and he makes good decisions. And so, and then obviously as much as they run the ball, they're not going to, that being what they want to do, they're not going to give those opportunities away.
And other than, I also got to add to his question that other than the late interception by Josh Love, both teams had pretty clean games that was the only turnover tonight. And I noticed that after that interception return, San Diego State had the ball on the 2, and mercifully they went in victory formation after that. But then I noticed that things started to get chippy between San Diego State and San Jose State because it seems that the defensive line was trying to get at the quarterback, and then it seemed both teams started pushing and shoving each other. What's your comments on what you had seen on the final plays?
I think that everyone's competitive and everybody wants to play, and they were taking a knee, which was generous, and their quarterback was taking a long time to kneel the ball, and so we had to push the pocket to get him to kneel. That's it.
Coach, the main standout player to me tonight was the punter, San Diego State, Brandon Heiklin. You guys were pinned within the 3-yard line 3 times by my count. What impact does that have on your offense aside from the obvious? That
I think it's hard. We talk about it all the time in our kicking game, right? If you can create a long field for the opponent's offense, you got a chance to stop them. You know, the numbers for scoring points go up or decline exponentially the further away you are from the end zone. So they did a great, like I said in my opening statement, they did a fantastic job in the kicking game.
Coach, at the end of the third quarter, there was one of your guys' punts. It bounced off of a San Diego State player's leg. Saw you very animated on the sidelines. I'm not sure if that's where you lost your voice or not. But what did you see from that play, and how big of a swing, a momentum swinging play was that tonight?
I think it was, you know, I'm animated all the time, and that was, you know, all those plays are big. A play like that where it's a potential turnover in a game that's still within reach is huge. You know, it's 4 minutes to go in the third, so that's the way it went.
I'd like to ask about the opening touchdown from San Diego State. From the announcement over the loudspeaker, something like that hasn't happened in years, that San Jose State's allowed an opening touchdown like that. Can you speak just on what factors you think allowed that to happen and how that set the tone for the rest of the game?
So everything with your kickoff team is determined by ball placement and coverage, right? And so we hit the kick in the wrong place, and we did not adjust to the return quickly enough, and it got out. And so, like I said, they did a great job in the kicking game tonight. They thoroughly whooped us in the kicking game, and it impacted the game tremendously. Thank you.
Cade, obviously you guys missing Jesse and Ethan tonight. What kind of impact does that have on your defense, losing those 2 guys?
Yeah, you know, they're definitely big playmakers, but at the same time, you know, we never use that as an excuse. We got to win with the guys on the field, and I'm really proud of the way the guys who were on the field did play, and I think Jesse and Ethan are too.
When Coach Brennan was just in here, you spoke about, you know, the defensive line got off to a really hot start in the first half. You know, 5 tackles for losses, 2 quarterback sacks. But in the second half, kind of unable to finish some of those plays, even though you guys were getting into the backfield and whatnot. Why do you think that was the case? And do you think maybe some of those longer sustained drives from San Diego State, kind of played into that?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely picked up their rushing game in the second half, and I think that also had an impact on our ability to rush the quarterback, just because it was a really tough physical game. Yeah, you know, I think the D-line has some stuff to fix.
For San Diego State, they have multiple running backs with over 200 rushing yards on the season. How important was it for y'all to make sure that the different styles of running backs they had, or like how was it going into preparing for the different style of running backs they had?
Yeah, they have a lot of really quick running backs, you know, little speed backs, and we were aware of that coming in. You know, a lot of that stuff is just a matter of making tackles. You know, because with those guys, if you miss one tackle, then they'll make you pay for it. So that's just one of the things we got to work on, is getting guys to the ground on the first hit.
How did you see the morale of the team shift throughout the game? You had kind of a rough start with the opening touchdown from San Diego State, and then by the end of it, there were a lot of penalties and false starts, and then kind of a scuffle in the field at the end. Can you just break down how that progressed throughout the game?
Yeah, you know, a huge part of winning games is the morale and the energy of the team on the sideline. And I definitely think that we lacked in keeping the energy up, especially as the game went on, you know. I felt like we bounced back from that opening touchdown really well, and then we weren't able to sustain it. So it's definitely something we got to work on, is that energy and being consistent with that energy, you know, because we had moments where the energy was up and we played like it. It's just a matter of being consistent.
The 50-yard touchdown run from Chase Jasmine off the crack toss.
Mhm.
Seemed to be kind of a backbreaker for the defense. Can you kind of describe what happened on that play and how he squeaked out, like I said, for the 50-yard run?
You know, to be honest, I don't remember exactly what happened. I'm about to go watch the tape right now, and I'll see. But you know, with those edge runs, it's just a matter of getting bodies to where the ball's going. You know, if we don't get enough guys to the area where the ball's going, then those go for a long time. Yeah, and when we knew that they had a good outside rush coming in, so we just gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the tape and get it fixed.
Ryan Agnew, you guys held him to only 88 yards passing, but 53 yards on the ground really burned you guys. What was it about his athleticism tonight that really caused problems for you?
Yeah, I mean he's a really good player. He's a really good athlete, and I think that we were focused a lot on covering the pass and trying to get there. That we missed a lot of those rush lanes that we gave him, and guys like him will make you pay if you don't keep him in the pocket. So it's definitely something that we need to work on is being able to contain guys like that.
I'm looking at here. You guys were only penalized once for 15 yards, and they were penalized. San Diego State was penalized 12 times for 85 yards. Why do you think you weren't able to take advantage of those penalties there?
I think it kind of goes back to what he was talking about the morale. You know, when we do have penalties like that, we need to have the ability to bring our energy up and feed off those penalties and take advantage of them. And we didn't do that. And if you want to win games, you got to take advantage of those plays when they give them to you. With good teams, you got to take advantage of them. So we didn't do that, but it's something to work on.
And Cade, looking forward to next week. It'll be a road trip across the country at Army, another team that's going to present you guys with a run-heavy offense. So your thoughts?
We're really excited. You know, Army's a very good football team, so we're really excited that we have the chance to come back and make a statement about what we're about. You know, I wouldn't have it any other way playing Army after a week like this, because it's going to give us an opportunity to show what we're about and show what we can do against a really good team.
Coming into this game, San Diego State was one of the top defenses in rushing, but we've seen a lot from Kyrie Robinson. How important was he to the offense today?
No, he adds juice to the offense, and he's pretty slippery back there. Can make some guys miss, and he's good out of the backfield as well. He made some plays today. Proud of him.
Josh, considering this, rushing defense you guys were facing, it looked like the plan was to air the ball out early and often, but a lot of those passes kind of sailed high and far. What kind of went wrong on some of those early deep shots, and how are you looking to fix them moving forward?
I think that they give credit to them. They thought they had good coverages, mixed it up, and they're making plays, and they're sitting on our guys deep, and I got to put it where our guy can make a chance. I got to do a better job at that.
Josh, over the course of the season, you've done a great job of spreading the ball around 8-9 receivers per game. Not as many today. What was the defense giving you that wasn't allowing you to spread the ball out as much?
That's a really good defense we played. We got to take a look in the mirror ourselves, and we got to protect. I got to make the right reads, and we got to catch the football, and we got to do our job. We need to go look ourselves in the mirror this week and get another crack at it this week against Army and practice hard.
Josh, coming into this game, you eclipsed the 400-yard passing mark last week for the third time in your career. Tonight, only 218 yards. What kind of looks was San Diego State giving you versus the game last week?
I think last week they play a lot of base coverage. This week, San Diego State moves around a lot. They bring a lot of pressure. They have some really solid players. Kiava is a really good player, number 44. You know, I thought we had a great game plan going in, trying to slow the game down, see what they give you, you know, getting the right protection. But, you know, when we need to make the plays, we need to make them.
Now, Josh, there were a couple of times tonight where you had the ball pinned literally on the 1 yard line, and in one of those drives, you led a 99-yard touchdown drive, including a deep pass to Bailey Gaither. Had to feel good to finally get one of those deep passes off, and it cut the deficit to 27-17. But then, on the final drive, when you started at the 1, game was basically over with that interception. So talk about how being pinned inside the 5 put pressure on the offense tonight.
I think we got pinned down there a couple times, but, you know, what are you going to do? You got to respond. You can't just sit there and not, you know, you got to go out there and do your thing, and no matter where you are on the field. And I think we did some good things and when we were backed up like that today, but obviously at the end we didn't do our job, and, you know, we threw a pick. So,
Josh, entering this game, you know, you guys were dead last in the Mountain West in rushing yards per game. I believe you guys were in the last 5 as well in the nation. What is it going to take to kind of turn that around? Obviously, putting the ball in your hands, you know, passing, you know, 30, almost 40 times a game may not be the answer. So how do you guys kind of correct the running game, you know, 7 games into the season?
you know, we're going to just continue to game plan and do what we do best. And, you know, right now we're struggling to run the football, but we need to get that going, and that would open up the passing game even more and help me out. But, you know, we need to kind of look ourselves in the mirror and go back to work this week and just practice hard like we've been doing. And hopefully we have a different result against Army next week.
Now, Josh, there was several plays that I felt like kind of stopped or ended the momentum that you guys had. One of those plays was the punt that got
That was ridiculous.
and then there was that one, and as well there was a pass to Billy Humphreys on the sideline that they overturned. How do plays like that affect the mentality of the offense?
I think the punt one was a big one. I'm not even really sure what happened, but, you know, as an offense, we're going out there on the field, and we had to be told that we have to get off. So that's a big momentum change, and I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure what the ref sees. So, you know, we can't control that. We can only control what we can control, and we got to do our job, and that's all you can do.
Hey, Josh. So San Diego and San Jose State this season so far very much known for turnovers. San Diego got that one interception, and San Jose State didn't tonight. What do you think led to that in your mind? How can the team be improving on getting those stray throws?
I think, obviously, that last play, I mean, they're backed up. We're backed up. Their DBs are backed up. You know, we're trying to make a play. I got hit. Didn't really throw it where I wanted to throw it based off the getting hit. And, you know, that was a result.
Yeah, obviously they had some long drives tonight, San Diego State, like the 20-play drive. They had the ball for 40 minutes. You guys only had it for 19. As a quarterback, what does that do to you when you're just sitting there watching the other team drive, and then you don't have the ball in your hands, like, at all?
You just got to stay ready on the sideline, stay warm, encourage the guys to stay ready, you know, and when we get our chance, go out there and do it. You know, if they score, we got to go score too. So that's our mindset.
It seems this season so far that your favorite target has been Trey Walker. Tonight he was held to 3 receptions. What was the defense doing to lock him up, to limit his touches tonight?
I think based off in coverage, they're trying to cloud his side and double him over the top. So they know he's a vertical threat. Same with Bailey. We just got to mix it up and, you know, just do our job. And I got to find the right guy to throw to. We have a lot of guys that are capable. And if Trey's not there, if in the read, when I'm not supposed to throw to him, then I need to move on my progression, find another guy. But Trey's been doing a hell of a job. I'm really proud of him, and he needs to keep his head up and keep grinding because we're going to get after this week.
Josh, you seem to have a pretty passionate response to the what should have been a muffed punt in your eyes. I know you said you didn't really see it all the way, but what was the reaction like on the sideline to that play, and how big of a momentum shifting instant was that, considering you guys were only down by 2 possessions at that point, and San Diego State goes on to score another touchdown following that?
I think obviously that's a huge play to get the crowd going, a turnover. We're going to be on the 30-something yard line going in, and then you're told that it's not your ball. So I don't know what happened. That's not under my control. It's not under our control. That's the ref's decision. But whatever happens, we got to respond, whatever the circumstances are. Thank you.
Obviously, first start of your young collegiate career. The rushing game has been an issue for this team. Moving on to Dijon and bringing you in. What different aspects of your game do you think benefit this rushing game? And what kind of versatility and different looks do you think you can give this offense?
I feel like I just have a lot of speed and I could just make a lot of plays. Pack was doing a good job, but Coach Carter just trusted me and Coach McGibbon just trusted me to be able to put me in that position, and I did all right, I think. I left some plays on the field, but I did all right. We knew that they were going to come out and D-line was going to show a lot of twist and whatnot. Backers were going to blitz, so we just try to take advantage of that and make plays. One side, they were blitzing one side, so we just would attack the other side and whatnot. So, yeah, we just had to make plays. Shout out to the other line. They made a lot of good blocks. Well, coming into the week, Coach Carter said that they were going to give me a chance.
Coach.
To
In the
start
first
this
half,
week,
your
and,
defensive
just
line seemed to give you guys a really
came
good
in
push. You guys
ready,
had
worked
5
hard
tackles for
every day of the
loss
week,
and a
I
pair of
just
sacks.
was able to start. Yep.
Why don't you think that was able to carry over into the second half, and you guys weren't able to really get as much of a push and make as much, of an impact on that side?
I mean, just being able to make a play for my team, best feeling ever. My first college touchdown, I was real excited. The rest of the game didn't go out, finish how we wanted it to, but we got to get back to work.
Yes, Coach. So it appears that
every
tonight
practice
has
we
several
just
struggles on special teams,
constantly
starting
going on
from
running
the
game, 9-on-7,
95-yard kickoff
just
return by
constant
San
runs. We
Diego
got
State that ultimately
plenty of
made a
periods
big
with
difference.
with
And
just strictly running the ball
did
and
that
stuff, so,
play,
yeah,
when
we
you saw that
definitely
play,
working
did
on
it
that
influence your
every
decision to
practice.
go for a pop-up kick after a field goal that closed the deficit to 13-10?